All right, welcome back to my A plus setups. Man, this year has started off real volatile. A lot of choppy price action as well with everything that was going on with the tariffs. So here we are coming into a week where we have FOMC. So I believe this is going to be a pivotal week moving into next month. So FOMC, I'm expecting volatility on the dollar. Now, it's a chance that they don't cut rates. I believe it's likely they won't cut rates this time, the Fed, and it's very likely that they'll cut rates in June. But if they cut rates now, hey, that'll be good as well, I believe, when we're looking at other markets like crypto and stuff like that. But looking at the dollar right now from a technical perspective, the dollar index, we can see that price initially broke below this level of demand. All right. And then, but we can see it started to have some bullish reaction. So going into this week, I mean, we look at the monthly had a big sell off. All right. But it's a chance that we get a bullish correction, a bigger bullish correction, especially if they don't cut rates yet. All right. So with this perspective, you can see it pretty much formed like an inverse head and shoulders right here. All right. And then it started moving to the upside. So right here, looking at it from this perspective, I am leaning towards the dollar index is set up to give a bigger corrective wave to the upside. All right, that's what I'm leaning towards. But of course, I will just react to what price shows and also align that with some of the major currencies paired up with the dollar that we're going to be looking at. All right, so that's the dollar index. Be on the lookout for FOMC midweek. All right, but just be patient and allow things to come to you. All right, so looking here at GU, we can see we came to this major strong level of supply where in the past price had a big sell-off. All right, so I like the way this weekly candle just printed. All right, we got a nice like shooting star pin bar type projection. That's a solid indication that price is likely to hold, setting up for a wave down. All right, now if we go down to the daily, and this is also going in line with, with me expecting the dollar to potentially correct up more. So you can see slightly broke above, but then closing right back below this level. So going down to the 4 hours. So this is how I'm looking at this here. Looking for price. I was actually in this last week, caught some pips on it on the drop. But to end the week, price pulled back. So right here, I like this area, right? Price initially broke down. We can see broke the trend line as well, slight pullback, and it's setting up for this wave down. So early in the week, I'm going to either look for something like this, maybe either a break, a continued break, and then catch the next pullback opportunity, or early in the week, if it pulls up slightly or plays within this level, could potentially look for that next wave down because I am expecting price to likely stay below this structure. All right, but for the most part, I'm looking for this type of scenario to catch this wave down. And judging based around the daily and the weekly, we can see price potentially push back into these structure levels down towards here, down towards this structure. All right, and that could be an area we could potentially bounce, or if it continues to break down, then we just look to trade in line with structure. But looking to the left, you can see this was also a previous area of supply. So that's the area of structure that I'm looking for price to potentially revisit. All right, so that's GU. I'm looking for sales. All right, so Euro USD, we can see similar to GU, we rejected a major level of supply. You see here in the past, price had a major sell-off, right? That's the area that price just spiked through a wick and rejecting from that level. All right. So I'm looking at also this potential previous top of supply that could be where EU is headed. All right. So now looking at the weekly here, you can see it got a nice bearish close below this level after that big, wick through that major supply level. All right. So now looking at this, let's look at this on a 4 hour. So we can see price made its way down. We just broke this little level of structure. All right. Broke this level here. I was looking for a break at this level and then a retest, but last week they did a lot of like liquidity grabs and things of that nature. But seeing how price broke down through that wick and now we're closing back below here, I like for this to set up for a continuation down. All right. So early in the week, maybe a slight pullback or somewhere within here can look to ride this wave down. All right. Or look for your opportunities on the pullbacks to take this down. And like I said, the structure level I will be looking for is roughly down into around 1.12, 1.122, but potentially within this previous level of supply. So possibly to 1.12. All right, so looking at GBPCHF, we can see where we're currently at. And we looking to the left. This is also like previous structure over here in the past, previous demand structure that price is basically reacting from. All right. And then also this level here. So we can see on the daily price did just close back below this level of structure. Now, this was a sell I was in. I was up. It played around this level, ended up coming up, hitting my stop loss. And then I see that price still held. So that's part of the game sometimes, because I was looking for, especially with this break of the head and shoulders on his retest, I was expecting a continuation down, but you can see it's pulled up slightly higher and then gave that sell off. And it basically gave the sell off I was looking for. Like that was a nice drop. And then it pulled back. So, but looking at how the daily closed, I'm still expecting this to give a bigger wave down. So you can even take this trend line right here from this low to this higher low. You can see price pretty much just broke that. Hold on. That right there. So you can see prices breaking that down. So I'm looking for something along the lines of this, either an early pullback in the week and catch that opportunity, or let price to continue to break down, and look for whenever you get the next corrective wave opportunity, you look to take that next wave down. So that's what I'll be looking for on GBPCHF. All right. So lastly, EURCAD. So if we see where EURCAD is rejecting from, looking to the left, this is a major supply top in the past, major supply. So this is basically the highest this has been since that drop, which is late 2020, early 2021. All right. So now we see on the weekly, we got a nice rejection on the weekly. It's looking like a bit of an even star rejection on the weekly. All right, which could be a good sign for a bigger drop. All right. Now, if we go down to the daily, just always doing a top-down analysis approach. Price gave a bit of a head and shoulders pattern right here, and then we see it started breaking down, closing below this level of supply. So now where price is currently at, well, how I'm looking at this to look for a potential opportunity to enter, I'll take my trend line right here. All right, you can see it's beginning to break that. Take that. All right, now I'll go down. We go down to the 4 hour as well. So you can see where price is sitting at. All right, it's at a level of structure. So I want to see a break of this. I want to see a continued break for a continued sell bias. So if this continues to come down, breaks below structure, continuing, then I will look for the next pullback or retest opportunity to catch that next wave down. All right, so my first area that you can look for potential take profit is here at this low, this higher low structure. All right, so let's say in this scenario, price broke and gave the retest. Let's say it broke down, gave a retest, maybe like within here, it'll be something along the lines like this, right here, which also can give you a 1 to 2, almost a 1 to 3 potential, depending on how to break and if the retest was to happen. So that's just a potential scenario on how I would look to trade this. And of course, if it breaks that higher low structure, price can go even further to the downside. So just keep it real simple. You see the trend line as well. It just about retested that. But if price want to pull up some first, let's say it pulls up some first, and that can be an opportunity on a pullback or retest there. So those different scenarios, those the different entry scenarios on how we look to enter here on EURCAD. All right. So those are the pairs on my watch list going into this week. Want to keep it real simple. Want to allow price to come to us. And in this current market climate, we want to make sure that we be real patient, wait for extra added confirmation because it's definitely a lot of manipulation going on in the market. So we got to be patient, protect our capital and allow the market to come to us. All right. Be sure to like and subscribe if you got value here. Also, you could join the free Telegram. All the links will be in the description. Also, if you want to tap into the VIP, to the course, to where I call my signals, where I do my live sessions with my group, my private group, be sure to tap in and check all the links in the description for that. All right. Y'all be blessed. Let's have a solid week.